I'm gonna call when I'm down there. Yeah. Okay.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is off the Oil and Gas Commission, a division of E&E of the state of Arkansas. We're October 27th in Little Rock, Arkansas. And thank y'all for coming. I'll turn it over to the hearing officer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Commissioners. First item we need to take care of in terms of agenda and docket is I need a motion to excuse the absence of Commissioner Wolford. Is there a motion from the commission on that? Chair has made a motion. Commissioner Weiser has seconded. All in favor, show of hands. Motion passes unanimously. Let's go ahead and segue into the regular docket. First item in the docket is docket number 074-2025-10. Applicant is Flyway Energy Production, LLC. The attorney of record is Mr. Parkins. Subject is extension of temporary abandonment status. Location is section 19, township 10 north, range 11 west, county is Claiborne, fields P43 well spacing area. Mr. Parkins, you are recognized, sir.
Thank you, Judge. The pre-filed exhibits are listed on page 2 of the application. Make sure I have the right one in front of me. Those include Exhibit A, the list of parties receiving notice. B is the fluid level test of November 21, 2024. C is the proof of publication. D is the affidavit of notice. The originals of C and D have been provided this morning to Mr. Pilkington. I would ask that those exhibits be admitted.
That motion is granted. Those exhibits are made part of the record.
This particular well, the Lester 10-11-5-19H18 is a horizontal well in Fayetteville Shale. And this well requires a plunger installation and some general wireline work to return it to production. The work will need to be coordinated with and follow the workover to return the number 6 well to production on the same well pad. The break-even price at this point is estimated to be $3.41 an MCF. And of course, Flywheel would comply with all of the commission imposed restrictions on TA extensions.
Thank you, Mr. Parkins. Commissioners, any questions? There are no abstentions or recusals on this one, Commissioners. If not, Mr. Perkins, does that conclude your presentation?
It does.
Now I'll call the record to a close. The evidentiary part of the record will close. Matters ready for adjudication. Is there a motion from the commission on this matter? Mr. Weiser, is there a second? Commissioner Phillips seconded. All in favor, show of hands. Motion passes unanimously. Right, next item on the agenda, docket number 075-2025-10. Applicant is Flyway Energy Production, LLC. Mr. Perkins is the attorney of record. Subject is extension of temporary abandonment status. Location is section 18, township 8 north, range 14 west. County is Conway. Field is B43 well spacing area. Any recusals on this matter, Commissioners? Now, for the record, there were none. Mr. Perkins, you are recognized, sir.
Thanks, Judge. The pre-filed exhibits are listed on page 2 of the application. Those include Exhibit A, a list of parties receiving notice. B is a fluid level test of September 25, 2024. C is a proof of publication. D is an affidavit of notice. The originals of C and D have been provided this morning to Mr. Pilkington. Would ask that those exhibits be admitted.
Motion is granted. Those exhibits are made part of the record.
This well, the Mahan 814-5-18H7 was completed as a horizontal well in the Fayetteville Shale. Flywheel would like to retain this well in order to return it to production at some point. This well, the applicant will need to pull the plunger equipment out, perform a wireline pump down, perform a hole finder run to test the integrity of the tubing. and ensure that the end of the tubing is clear, and then reinstall the plunger assembly. The applicant believes that this particular well can be returned to service economically, and the estimated break-even price is $3.10 an MCF.
Thank you, Mr. Perkins. Any questions from the commission? Seeing there are none, does that conclude?
Mr. Perkins, is this unit held by some other production?
It is.
Thank
There
you.
is a surface use agreement on the well site.
Thank you.
Any other commissioners? All right, does that conclude your presentation, Mr. Perkins?
It does.
Thank you. I'll call the evidentiary part of the record to a close. Matters ready for adjudication. Is there a motion from the commission on this docket? The chair has made a motion to approve. Commissioner Weiser has seconded. All in favor, show of hands. Motion passes unanimously. Next item on the docket number 076-2025-10. Applicant is Flyway Energy Production LLC. Mr. Perkins is the attorney of record. Subject is extension of temporary abandonment status. Location is section 22, township 8 north, range 14 west. County is Faulkner. Field is B43, well spacing area. Any recusals on this matter? No, for the record, there were none. Mr. Perkins, you are recognized.
Thank you, Judge. The pre-filed exhibits are listed on page 2 of the application. Those include Exhibit A, a list of parties. B is the fluid level test of October 23rd, 2024. C is a proof of publication. D is an affidavit of notice to interested parties. The originals of C and D have been provided to Mr. Pilkington this morning. Would ask that those exhibits be admitted.
Motion is granted. Those exhibits are made part of the record.
Riddle 814-4-22H16 was completed as a horizontal well in Fayetteville Shale. Flywheel would like to retain this well in order to turn it to production. In order to do that, the applicant needs to reinstall the plunger and conduct an additional minor workover. But this particular well is one of a 3-well group that are slated for reworking on this pad, and all 3 will need to be addressed as a group. So that will affect the timing of it. The applicant anticipates that this well can be returned to production economically with an estimated break-even price of $3.71 an MCF. The applicant will, of course, abide by all of the commission-imposed restrictions on the transfer of this well, and this particular unit is held by production, and there is a surface use agreement on the well site.
Thank you, Mr. Perkins. Questions from the commission? Mr. Perkins, does that conclude your presentation?
Yes.
I'll call the evidentiary part of the record to a close. Matters ready for adjudication. Is there a motion from the commission? Commissioner Phillips, I think, made the motion. Commissioner Weiser seconded. All in favor, show of hands. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Perkins.
Thank you.
All right, next item, docket number 071-2025-09, Oxley Energy LLC. Mr. Daly is the attorney of record. The subject is an unleased mineral interest integration. I'm going to just go with the location that's set forth in the application. The county is Johnson, field is Ludwig. I gather, Mr. Daly, you are on Zoom, is that correct?
I am in the Fort Smith office, as are the witnesses, and we're ready.
All right. Commissioners, any recusals on this matter? All right, no, for the record, there were none. Currently, Mr. Daly, you are, the best way to describe it is Lilliputian. You are very tiny on my screen. I can barely see you. So I'm just gonna go with the flow and recognize you, even though I can't see you.
I've been trying to pick up a few pounds. Judge, but maybe I've done too well.
All right, Mr. Daly, please proceed, sir.
All right, the witnesses for sure are Mark Wilson and Jeff Gist. Request that they be sworn.
All right, I'll go ahead and do that. I will note, I'm sorry, Daly, I don't mean to cut you off. I will note for the record that I do have one objection to this docket. It is from Rebecca Brinks, dated Thursday, September 25th, 2025. And it is an objection to this docket. I'm going to go ahead and admit that into the record. I'm sorry, Mr. Daly, we'll go ahead and swear in your witnesses. I can see you now, sir. So, gentlemen, would you be so kind as to raise your right hands? Do you swear from the testimony about to give in this hearing is to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Mr. Daly?
Mark, state your name.
My name is Mark Wilson.
Are you the person in charge of putting together the various mineral interests that will ultimately result in the drilling of the well that's the subject of this application?
Yes.
Was the effort summary exhibit let me back up, Judge, if I may, because I need to introduce my exhibits.
I was going to remind you of that, Mr. Daly, but I didn't want to interrupt you in the middle of your examination.
I just reminded myself. The applicant's documentary evidence is summarized and tabulated on its Exhibit I, including the proof of publication and affidavit of mailing notice, all of which should have arrived via Federal Express in North Little Rock in the middle of last week. We will have testimony from an expert in petroleum geology named Jeff Gist. Jeff is an expert whose credentials were first recognized in order reference number 65-2006-03. We move the admission of the exhibits tabulated on Exhibit I and the recognition of Mr. Gist's credentials as an expert in geology.
All right. And just for the record, I've got the list of exhibits that appear in Exhibit I or Exhibit A, B, B1, C, D, E, F, G, H, and I is the compilation exhibit listing all those exhibits.
Yes, sir.
Motion is granted, and I'm going to go ahead and admit those into the record. I will take judicial notice and recognize the expertise of your witness. Please proceed, Mr. Daly.
Mark, now, if you will, let me ask you again, was Exhibit B prepared under your direct supervision?
Yes.
And does it reflect your company's efforts over a lengthy period of time to secure leases or otherwise commitments with respect to this well?
Yes.
When did you first start working on this well?
We started in late 2023, I believe October, but late 2023. So it's been essentially 2 years.
Are there questions for Mr. Wilson?
I do not know, Mr. Daly. Commissioners, do you have any questions? I'll note for the record, Mr. Daly, there were none.
Mr. Daly,
I'm sorry. Sorry, Mr. Chairman, go ahead.
whose land is the location gonna be on? Y'all got a location picked?
Yes.
Who's the owner?
Carol Whitconnect.
Did you hear that, Commissioner?
I'm just making sure it wasn't on Miss Brink's land. Okay, thank you.
All right, any other commissioners have questions? Mr. Daly, your next witness. What do you have follow-up for this one?
No follow-up. Jeff, state your name
Jeff Gist,
and how are you employed?
petroleum geologist for Oxley Energy.
If you would, making reference to your structure map, which is Exhibit E, and the ISOPAC, which is Exhibit F. Explain, first of all, why you have chosen to drill this well in this location. And then your geological objectives, and then finally give your opinion as to an appropriate risk factor penalty to be applied to a non-consenting owner's interest, and why that is your opinion.
Okay, Exhibit E is a structure map on the top of the Dunn formation. The faulting is, which is highlighted in brown, is oriented west to east, and it's known as the Mulberry Fault System. We can exhibit 1,000 to 2,000 feet of missing section. Our location is, as you can see on the structure map, is 660 from the south line, and we within this Mulberry Fault System, smaller splinter faults can arise from this fault system. So that would be a risk. And then below the Dunn. Can you hear me?
I apologize, sir. We are having a little bit of a disconnect as it relates to the exhibits. You are testifying about an exhibit. The commission is looking for the exhibit and they cannot.
It would be Exhibit E, Judge Moulton, at the moment.
We don't
I understand that,
have
Mr.
it.
Daly, but I think there's a little mishap in terms of the commission having these exhibits in front of them, because they are looking for them right now and they can't locate them. So if we could just go off the record for 5 minutes
Sure.
and see if we can't get on the same page with everybody and get these exhibits squared away, and then we will get started. My apologies, Mr. Daly, we're looking for them and we just can't.
No problem at all. They were a part of the original PDF file that was attached to the application, which was actually filed in September for the September docket, though that hearing was.
That's right. They are diligently trying to locate them at this point, and as soon as we have them, we'll get back on the record and we'll get started. We are off the record.
You have them?
I saw them online on the original application, but they
Yeah.
never mailed them to us.
Yeah, they're in the
They're
record.
definitely on
You wanna,
Website.
Jeff, and these commissioners, a couple of copies, please.
I've got one copy.
Shoot a copy real quick, somewhere. Or that was out there, copy.
Oh, well, at least 5 minutes.
Okay, perfect. That's all I need. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Always bring an extra set.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you, Jake. Appreciate it.
Thank you much. 54,000 words.
I even knew that this was the Mulberry Fault Complex. That's how obvious this picture is.
Well, we've seen it a few times before.
Yeah, pretty goes all the way into Sequoia. Oh, County.
First
Okay.
work I did in the gas business, which was longer ago than I can admit, was in just south of here in 923. The old, it was the Gulf Reagan well was the very first one. 923, I think. I don't know. I think it could be Jack Reagan at Reagan gas ships. He was early in the university. Yeah, we got Reagans in this unit.
Why don't we go ahead and go back on the record? We are back on the record. Mr. Daly, if you would be so kind as to start from scratch with this particular witness, just start over from the beginning.
Sure.
I think it provides some continuity and context for the commission as they look at these exhibits and go through his testimony.
Glad to do. Jeff, if you will, referring to exhibits E and F, explain the geology of the region around the prospect, the reason why you have chosen to drill this well and believe it is prospective, and why you picked this location, and conclude with your opinion as to the appropriate risk factor penalty which should be applied to the interest of a non-consenting party, and why.
Okay, looking at exhibit E, it's a Dunne structure map. The polygon highlighted in brown is a fault system known as the Mulberry Fault, and it can consist of 1,000 feet to 2,000 feet of missing section throughout the area. If you move to exhibit F, it's a ISOPAC, a Dunne ISOPAC map, and our location is 660 from the south line, as highlighted in yellow. And all the wells highlighted in red to the south are Dunne producers. In this channel that I have mapped and that goes through our location, the unit to the south in section 33 is it's no longer producing, it's P&A. There is a Dunne producer. There was in the Seco Plugay #1 in the southeast quarter of section 33, which is highlighted in red. So there is production in this channel. Our location in section 28, like I said, was 660 from the south line, and we want to pick this location to be as far up dip in this fault block for Dunne in this Dunne reservoir. The potential risk that can occur is in this large fault system, the Mulberry Fault System. There could be smaller splinter faults that can arise. Also, below the Dunne formation, we plan to drill to the ore and TD below the ore. As we go down section to the deeper ore, this fault system will migrate further south and elevate the risk of potentially faulting out a portion of the ore or right below the ore section. So in my opinion, I believe a 400% risk factor is appropriate.
Questions for Mr. Guest?
Commissioners, any questions?
I've got a question.
Sure.
How much did that well down there in section 33 make?
Out of the Dunne,
Out of the Dunne?
the quarter BCF, approximately a quarter BCF.
Okay.
We had 5 feet of 8% net porosity, kind of on the edge of that channel, the way I've had it mapped.
And then in 28, the well over there, the Sonat Brinks.
Yes.
Or TXO Brinks, it says 3 PG on it. What does that PG mean?
Possible gas,
Oh,
no perfs.
so they didn't see any gas there.
No, they were on mud when they drilled through it.
Oh,
So just a log evaluation, I had 3 feet of 8%, and then the note that PG would be possible gas.
okay. No, thanks.
Any other questions from the commission? If not, follow up for your witness, Mr. Daly?
Nothing further.
Do you rest, sir? Mr. Daly, do you
Yes.
rest?
Yes, we do.
Sorry. With that, I'll call the evidentiary part of the record will close. Matter is ready for adjudication. Is there a motion from the commission?
Move
Mr.
to
Wilder,
approve.
to approve. Is there a second?
Second. From Commissioner Liner.
Commissioner Liner has seconded. Thank you, Commissioner Liner. All in favor, show of hands. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Daly.
Thank you.
All right. Next item, docket number 077-2025-10. Brightburn Operating LP and Mission Creek OPCO LLC. Mr. Daly is the attorney of record. Subject is transfer of well, extension of temporary abandonment status. Location is northeast quarter of the northeast quarter, section 20, township 18 south, range 21 west. County is Columbia, field is Torchit, Macedonia. Any recusals on this matter, commissioners? Note for the record, there were none. Mr. Daly, you are recognized, sir.
I believe I saw Chris Rogers. Chris, if I'm looking at your back, please raise your hand so I can. Yeah, okay. Mr. Rogers is one of our witnesses, Judge Moulton, and he's with you in North Little Rock. Mr. Hunt, who is also a witness, is beside me. The applicant's documentary evidence is summarized and tabulated on its Exhibit G. We move the admission of Exhibit G and all exhibits tabulated thereon into evidence.
We make certain that the commission has those exhibits. Commissioners, do you have these exhibits? It appears they do, Mr. Daly. Motion is granted. Those exhibits are made part of the record. Please proceed.
Mr. Hunt, please state your name.
Go ahead and swear him in, Mr. Daly. Hold on. We'll swear both of your witnesses in if we could. Gentlemen, would you be so kind as to raise your right hands? Do you swear or affirm the testimony about to give in this hearing is going to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, sir. All right, please proceed, Mr. Daly.
Merritt, state your name.
Merritt Hunt.
And how are you employed?
I'm employed by Diversified Energy and Brightburn Operating LP.
Mr. Daly, is your witness's microphone on? It's really hard to pick them up a little bit.
Pull it or lean into it.
Sorry, can you hear me better?
We can. Thank you, sir.
Sure.
Please proceed.
I apologize. Go ahead.
Is your position regional land manager?
Yes, I'm the director of lands.
Are you familiar with the well, which is subject to this application? Namely the Nipper, RDB1 well?
Yes, I am.
Is it a well that Brightburn has currently shut in?
Correct.
And were you originally intending to plug the well?
Yes, we were.
Has that changed by virtue of you reaching an agreement with Mission Creek for Mission Creek to take over the well and restore the production?
That is correct.
Questions for Mr. Hunt?
Commissioners, any questions? Mr. Daly, your next witness, please.
Okay, Chris, please state your name.
Christopher Rogers.
And are you the chief operating officer of Mission Creek?
I am.
Do you, if you will, Chris, just explain to the commission your plans for the Nipper B1 well, and as well as why you believe that Mission Creek is uniquely postured to operate it at a profit.
Sure. So our plan is to take a rig over, add additional perforations to the well and return it to production. Given our gas plant within the field, our economics are different than primary. So, restore production.
Because of your gas plant in the field, you can operate the well more economically, i.e. with less cost than another operator could.
Correct.
Have you shown on exhibit D, the zones that you intend to either clean up or perforate?
Yes, they were provided in the exhibit.
All right, and you've already conducted a successful fluid level test, am I correct?
That's correct.
And is it your intent to immediately secure an additional bond in your company's name to guarantee the ultimate plugging of this well if it is not returned to production?
Yes, that is correct.
And I believe what we've asked for is a simple 90-day extension of the temporary abandonment status and approval of it, the transfer of the well to Mission Creek. Is that correct? Questions for Mr. Rogers?
Commissioners, any questions? Mr. Chairman?
Is the extension gonna be in Mission Creek's name or Brent?
Mission Creek.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions from the commission?
Mr. Daly, just a point of procedure. I think probably the most appropriate subject of the request would be for the commission to grant staff the authority to proceed with the well transfer process rather than approval of a transfer. We would still need to do our normal regulatory review as part of the transfer.
Certainly. To the extent that requires an amendment, we move for that amendment.
Thank you.
Well, that motion to amend is granted. Any other questions from the commission? Seeing none, Mr. Daly, any other witnesses?
No, that's all.
All right, you rest, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right, with that, I'll call the evidentiary part of the record to a close. Motion, matter is ready for adjudication. Is there a motion from the commission? Chairman Laley has moved to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Thomas has seconded. All in favor, show of hands. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Daly.
Thank you.
All right, next item on the agenda, docket number 073-2025-10. Applicant is SWA Lithium LLC. Mr. Honey is the attorney of record. Subject matter is unleased brine owners integration and non-consenting brine interest owners integration. Multiple locations, county is Columbia, Lafayette, and Reynolds brine unit. Commissioners, any recusals on this matter? So for the record, there were none. Tony, you are recognized.
Thank you, Judge Moulton. I'll start by identifying and moving the introduction of the pre-filed exhibits. Exhibit A is the legal description of the Reynolds brine unit. Exhibit B-1 is the list of unleased brine owners. Exhibit B-2 is the list of uncommitted leasehold, brine leasehold working interest owners. I have distributed here today Exhibit B-3, which is the list of parties who have been leased since the application was filed and who are to be dismissed as parties at this point. Exhibit C is the resume of efforts. I have also distributed here today Exhibit C-1, which is the updated resume of efforts. Exhibit Exhibit D is the proposed AFE for the well field. Exhibit E is the form of the proposed brine lease. I note that the Exhibit E is the form that has been used for leasing operations up to this point. I believe Exhibit F is the proof of publication, and Exhibit G is the affidavit of service by first class mail. I'd move the introduction of the pre-filed exhibits A through G and the two exhibits I have provided today, B-3 and C-1.
If our motion is granted, those exhibits are made part of the record.
I also move to dismiss as a part of this proceeding Tetra Brine Leaseco LLC. They were one of the uncommitted brine leasehold working interest owners, and an agreement has been reached with that party.
All right, that motion is granted. That party is dismissed from the record.
I note that the Reynolds Brine Unit was created by order of the commission entered in docket number 026-2025-04. I would move the incorporation by reference of the record of all proceedings in the application and hearing in which the unit was created.
That motion is also granted. That docket is incorporated by reference into this docket.
I have one witness in support of this application, Mr. Jared Reynolds. I'd ask that he be sworn.
Sir, do you swear affirm the testimony about to give in the hearing is going to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you, sir.
Would you please state your name for the record?
Yeah. Yeah, I was trying to tell you to pull the microphone close to you.
Jared W. Reynolds.
How are you employed, Jared?
I'm a independent petroleum landman for Harbor Energy.
I understand you have been in charge of leasing efforts for not only the Reynolds Brine Unit, but also the Tetra Evergreen Unit. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And your efforts to lease this entire area have been ongoing for quite some time.
Yes, several years.
So the resume of efforts reflects the entirety of those efforts over this span of several years, correct?
That's correct.
And to your knowledge, the list of unleased brine owners does in fact represent the totality of unleased brine owners and uncommitted brine leasehold working interest areas within the Reynolds Brine Unit.
Yes.
I'll pass the witness.
Thank you, Mr. Honey. Commissioners, any questions?
Mr. Honey, I see on your Exhibit C that you still have the Arkansas Natural Heritage Commission listed. This is pretty long-standing legal opinion of this commission that we can't integrate state entities such as the Arkansas Heritage Commission. There is a readily available process for leasing the state's interest, so that we would ask that be dismissed.
Yeah, no problem. I agree 100%. Overlook that. Yeah, I do move to dismiss the Arkansas Heritage Commission as a
Motion is granted. Arkansas Heritage is dismissed from this application. All right, any other questions from the commission? Commissioner Bengel? Oh. Somebody from Zoom?
Yeah, I had a question. This is Robert Liner. On the costs here on Exhibit D, the plant costs aren't in here. These are just the drilling and essentially completion costs, right?
correct.
And what would the cost of that plant be if we were to stick it on here?
Do not know if I have a witness here today that could answer that question. But I think it would be, in my opinion, inappropriate to include the plant cost on the AFE for the well field development for the election.
So the pooling's not subject to the cost of the plant then?
Correct.
Okay, I just wondered. Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner Leonard. Commissioner Bengal?
Is the amount of acreage represented by the integrated parties?
I'm sorry,
How many acres are represented by the proposed integrated parties?
the unleased brine owners.
Right.
I would actually need to probably look at that, to see after we dismiss the parties, what that would actually represent now.
Can you give an approximate percentage of leased and unadmitted?
It's probably close to around 2,000 acres.
Okay.
Any other commissioners? If not, Mr. Honey, do you rest? All right, with that, I'll call the evidentiary part of the record to a close. Matters ready for adjudication. Is there a motion from the commission on this matter? Chair Langley has moved to approve the application. Is there a second? Commissioner Bengal has seconded. All in favor, show of hands. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Honey. All right, commissioners, do you want to gravitate into the last item on the agenda? Do you need a break? What's the prerogative of the commission? You ready?
Right.
Or I am. Next item is staff docket. This is docket number 070A 2025-09. The operator is Atlantic Oil Production Company. Mr. Pilkington is the attorney of record. Subject is well abandonment. Location is section 23, township 15, South Range 20 West, counties Columbia. Field is Wildcat and Stevens. Pilkington, you moved on me. You are recognized, sir. Please proceed. I'm sorry, commissioners, any recusals on this matter? No, for the record, there were none. Mr. Pilkington.
Thank you, Judge Moulton. I have a couple of pre-filed exhibits I would move for admission of into the record. They include Exhibit A, the affidavit of service. Exhibit B is the notice of hearing on this matter. And Exhibit C is the proof of public notice from the Arkansas Democrat Gazette. I would move for admission of each of those exhibits into the record.
Motion is granted. Those exhibits are part of the record.
Thank you, Judge Moulton. I don't have any testimony today unless it's required, but I am going to give a quick summary of what
Yes, sir.
filed. So this is an application requesting well abandonment on 3 wells. These wells have not been in production for decades. The operator, we have no idea how to find them. They're not even registered with the Secretary of State's business records. So there's nobody to find to compel to plug these wells. They are in or around the Stevens area where we have the ongoing project. So we're asking for these wells to be abandoned so that they can be plugged this time. And if you have any questions, either I or the director will try to answer those.
Thank you, sir. Any questions from the commission on this one?
Annual, how many wells are there?
There's 3.
3.
Yeah, I'm sorry, it's the Mose Jackson 1, the Mose Jackson 3, and the Mose Jackson 4. They're all located in close proximity, either in Stevens Field or in a Wildcat.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. I'm sorry? I believe they have. The fun part on this is usually they find the wells, but then trying to figure out they're so old who operated them. And so I think we have a general idea as to who drilled them, looking at the old archaic records that we have in the El Dorado office. I believe they have located them. It's just, we're going to have to plug them at this juncture because of the status.
Any other commissioners? Does that conclude your presentation?
Yes, sir. Nothing further.
All right, thank you, sir. I'll call the evidentiary part of the record to a close. Matters ready for adjudication. Is there a motion from the commission? Commissioner Thomas has moved to approve. Commissioner Bengal has seconded. All in favor, show of hands. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. At this juncture, the commission is at the open docket portion of the agenda. The commission will hear public comments concerning the following areas of commission jurisdiction: whether or not waste of oil and or gas is taking place or is reasonably imminent, the optimum equitable rate of production for each controlled source of supply, whether or not any rules and regulations currently should be considered for revision, or if additional rules should be considered, and any other matters brought before the commission over which it has jurisdiction. Does anyone present wish to speak to any of these matters? Hearing none, I will turn it over to the director for the director's report.
The first item on the director's report is the proposed rulemaking that we originally brought before the commission requesting promulgation back in August, I believe, for the expansion of the PHMSA authority that the commission has to cover hazardous liquid pipelines. You should have a copy in front of you of the codified proposed rulemaking. At this point, the public comment period has been closed a couple of weeks ago. We got no comments from the public on the proposed rulemaking. We did have some small comments from the Bureau of Legislative Research regarding the fees. The fees were stricken from the proposed language at their request. There were no other substantive changes to the proposed rule. So at this point, the proposed rulemaking is ripe for adoption by the commission. Happy to try to answer questions or call witnesses as needed.
Right now, for the record, the Commissioner Bengal has moved to adopt. Commissioner Phillips has moved to adopt. Well, you don't have to have a fight over it. Who's first and who's second? Commissioner. Motion made and seconded. All in favor, show of hands. Motion passes unanimously. Director?
Thank you. Just a couple other items. I am handing out a proposed 2026 hearing schedule for the commission's review. And if it's their pleasure, approval, my understanding, a copy of the same proposed 2026 schedule has been distributed in Fort Smith. I will make note that there are, on my copy, there are a couple of hearings that I wanted to make note of. Yeah. I had one that I made notes on and now I've misplaced. There it is. So just to bring the commission's attention to a few of these dates, this was our efforts to try to find the dates that kind of fit our traditional hearing schedule. March is scheduled for the Wednesday afternoon before the Natural Resources Law Institute in Hot Springs. The April hearing is scheduled to follow the APRO annual fish fry. The October hearing is still in question because we do not have hard dates for the 2026 Arkansas Lithium Innovation Summit. As y'all well know, the 2025 summit is going to be held Tuesday and Wednesday this week, and there was a reason that we had to move this hearing to a day. Those are the dates that staff has put together. I'm happy to discuss or explore other options as needed. The only other item that I would make note of, it's staff's request, and I hope the commission feels the same way, that we have a certain number of hearings in person together with the entire commission in attendance where we can do that. as part of that, I thought that we would try to do that in each location, as we can schedule it. So one in El Dorado entirely in person, one in Fort Smith entirely in person, and one in North Little Rock entirely in person, and then the Hot Springs entirely in person as well. Happy to discuss or try to answer questions if I can.
Looks like the May hearing already happened.
Oh, did we have? Yeah, we went back in time. That's just a typo. Apologize. Back 2025 on May instead of 2026. Okay. We could do May or October, May or January as the other options for Fort Smith. It's been quite some time since we've had an in-person in Fort Smith. I think it's been actually over a year with some of the cancellations and relocations that we had to do this year.
Let's change weather interference if you had this night.
All right. And we can adjust if we need to. I'll circle May 26th, 2026 in Fort Smith as in person. April 21st, 2026 in El Dorado in person. And then Hot Springs in person on May the 4th. And then the only one that would be remaining would be in North Little Rock, and we would have an option of either June, August, or December of next year. El Dorado will be April. So as far as the in-person for North Little Rock, the options would be June, August, or December of next year. Summertime travel might be easier, and we should have working air conditioning in El Dorado by next summer. So, if I may be so bold, I propose that we do August in North Little Rock.
Any motion on those dates, Director?
Please.
Is there a motion from the commission? Commissioner Bagel has moved to approve the schedule for next year. Is there a second? Everybody's looking at their calendars, Director.
If need be, we could table it till December if everybody wants a month to digest the dates and check work calendars.
Of course, you can always, even though you set the schedule, you can always amend it as we did this year a few times. So that's always an option as well. Well, there's a motion, but I don't have a second, so it may be just. All right, why don't we hold off, Director, until next month? All right. Anything else?
Two more brief items. Had the privilege to attend the Interstate Oil and Gas Compact Commission this past September, this past month. And I wanted to share a little bit that I learned there. Across the United States of America, there are 190,000, give or take, abandoned or orphaned wells. I'm 190,000. I'm proud to say that Arkansas has ballpark 350. So I think that's something that this commission can be very proud of. The proactive approach that y'all have taken over the past 2-3 decades has made a difference. And it's my sincere hope that this next batch of grant funding for plugging, that we can get the lion's share of those knocked out as well. We have in our Stevens project to date plugged 204 wells. That's been a big project with a lot of dewatering and wet areas to be dealt with. But that is a substantial number of wells that have been put to bed forever at this point. So proud of that. We have conducted interviews for plugging contractors for that formula grant. We interviewed 3 contractors in South Arkansas and 2 contractors in North Arkansas. Happy with all those interviews. So hopefully once those funds get awarded, we'll be able to move forward with getting the lion's share of those remaining 350 plug. Fund balances from budget perspective, fund balances at the end of the first quarter were all healthy, and all of our expenditures seem to be in line through the end of the first quarter. That is pretty much all the updates that I have.
Back to you, Mr. Chairman.
This meeting's adjourned.